Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my blessed beloveds out there in living and thriving land. It looks like my camera is being ornery. I'm not sure why, but this is what it is doing now. We are finally getting a little bit of rain, and so the humidity is going away, and this poor camera just continues to be naughty. I'm burning my sage, trying to calm it down. We've been going on and on and on and on. For days and days and days, interviews over interviews over interviews. And it's just, it's a blessing what I do because I get to travel around the world and sometimes the universe to bring you different perspectives. And I think life is all about perspective. I think that we are meant to be here on a journey of experience and exploration, and we're given hard balls and curve balls, and what do you do with that? We're just big bags of water surfing on a huge rock going through infinity. That's really it. We make things really hard for ourselves, and right now we're in the middle of a pandemic, and so I decided to take my podcast and make it a visual cast, or a vlog as I'm told it's called, so that you can see faces and you can see expressions and have a little bit of fun with us. The show is always lighthearted, it always will be, but I hope that you're getting something out of this series that's a little bit above and beyond what you would normally hear, because now there's a lot of silence and it's kind of quiet out and it's really nice and peaceful. And this is a great time to reinvent yourself. This is a great time to remotivate yourself to do what really makes your soul soar. And that's what we're here to do. I'm very fortunate that I have a lot of friends from all over the world that do all kinds of really cool things. And today I get to meet a Marci Kosich.
Kosich is fine. Either way.
And she has a unique ability of being able to send out vibrations, or theta. Is it theta?
Well, that's the name of the book. The theta is like the what monks use to get to that center part of our brain, to calm it. We get more memories. And so my whole book that I just read, Theta Experiences and Teachings 4 to 8 Hertzes, and because of all my chaos I've had in my life, it's learning to be calm within the chaos.
And that's what living and thriving is about. How do you get through your own personal storm? How do you get through life storms? There are so many tips and tricks and ways to get through it in a happy, peaceful, and wonderful way. And many years ago, I had my friend Joe on, if you guys remember, who have followed me all these years. He does didgeridoo, which I absolutely love. I find it so calming, and all day long I could be there. I could be with Buddhist monks or Catholic priests in the chants. That sends my soul on fire. And what Marci is able to do is all of that, but with your voice, which is really cool.
It is, and that's why I have a drum. I've been Native American other lifetimes. I have Tibetan chimes, but everything is frequency. And as I've continued working and healing myself, I have raised my frequency. Our energy, I forgot the whole light within us, but it's like 4 to 8 hertz within each centimeter. And our body is a symphony. And when our body is out of tune, like the violin's out of tune, that's where we get diseases. And so it breaks down. And they've had studies where when I do my tones and my energy, they said on TV that when we're stressed out, our cells expand, which ages us faster. And what this does, when we're in fear, our body contracts. And again, that's why we get diseases. When we're in our love, our body expands. So with the tones, I could get that body back into realigning where your 8th level, your DNA heals yourself. I'm just a conduit of the energy of what's been going around for thousands and thousands of years.
And it's really fun to watch her do her work. We had a little bit of a conversation. You might want to mute me. We had a little bit of a conversation last night in regards to how she actually performs. And it comes to her just like all mystics, all rabbis, everybody in the spiritual realm who are truly into the higher level of consciousness. They all experience some form of message as the easiest way to put it. And so she gets messages and then she tunes herself like you would with a guitar or a violin or whatever.
Radio show, yeah.
And then she gives you a signal or a sound to raise your vibrations wherever your vibrational level is at the time. So it's, I don't know if you guys remember Amy, one of my best friends who does the tuning forks. Same idea, except she does it with her voice, which is something that I have yet to run across outside of monasteries and places like that. Where did you decide to use your voice? I mean, it's different as a sole practitioner. I mean, we're used to having the group. Does it make sense?
Yeah, of course I do. Well, it's been a journey. That's why my book, Theta, with the acronym T period, H period, E period, T, I forgot the period after that, and the H is on my Amazon. And it's from my birth from 1961 up until 2020. I just published the book. It's got challenge drawings. And it's my whole journey. And it's been very much guided. And I've been like a healer many lifetimes. And so it's like, if you look up Blu-ray, that's what I am. And so I think I'm going right and they send me left. And so somebody when I was 25 did tones on me. And then Ortero when I was 18, or my aunt when I saw. So there's been like a long journey where you're just not born. It's been a lot of different experiences. And one of the people, Aranum, where I worked on where you were saying, I started doing Aranum about 6-7 years, like 2010. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to experiment with the tones because Aranum is an international Skype website where I worked for 3 years. So I had my headset, the microphone was making noises even though I wasn't, so I switched to a headset. And people would like start saying, I'm feeling more released. I'm getting my headache disappear. I'm getting all these because they would all be typing in, and it's like I did you and John yesterday. It's just like they got addicted to it. And now I have on my website, or my YouTube under Marci Kosich, I have 25 different that I've started years ago, different tones, and I'll say an experiment so that people do not get offended or feel I'm egotistical or whatever it is that's going on. It's just keeping it low key. This is what I'm trying. How do you like it? And I could feel them right next to me, like wanting to do the tones, which is what they do.
So I've done the vibrational bowls. I love the sound the bowls make. And you do that as well, right?
Well, I don't have bowls.
Okay.
It's everything is to do with hertzes, and it's binaural, which is like 2 tones. So it'll be like 10 hertzes in one and 20 in another. And as you heard yesterday, there's sometimes 3 or 4 now. I'm so far advanced. As I've continued clearing my journey and my energy, because a lot of psychics they don't work on themselves. They're egotistical and they're greedy. And I get really upset. It's like, well, what have you done to work on yourself?
I think there are different levels.
Rusty, are you there?
Yeah. Can you see me?
Rusty.
Hi. Huh. Can you see me now? Weird. Everything froze. All right, are you there? Marci?
You froze.
Well, we're in the middle of a storm, so I'm not sure if that was like electrical, but you froze. But what was weird about your freezing is you went from this side of the screen to the other side of the screen. Like your picture flipped. It was very weird.
You know, my friend that's FBI and he reads energy, we get way, way out there energy. So your picture is still not on.
Yeah, I see that as well.
But if you can see,
I can see you. That's all that really matters. Nobody wants to see my mug.
So, I mean, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So one of the people I ended up doing healings on in Aranum, Amy, it's like she ended up trans-channeling Elohim. And I didn't know who Elohim was. And through a year and a half, they gave me a lot of information. I said, frequency is so high, technology can't handle it. They also, through another session, said that it's not to do with religion. They test people. If they pass the test, they give them opportunities. So I think that's where it happens, where a lot of monks, a lot of high energy people, it's like, okay, it's school, or you earn this. So as I've continually worked on myself and cleared up my energy, I've got higher and higher guides like school.
So what is the one thing that you would suggest if anybody wanted to participate or learn how to raise their vibration? What is the one thing that you would suggest would be a good stepping stone?
Well, a lot of it is we have heavy condensed energy called carbon energy matter. And that is fear, shame, and guilt. And so what we do, we need to own and release whatever our energies are or our images are and allow them. Because a lot of times I work on people and they're like, I'm fine. And I'm like, no, you're not. Because I'm a meditative. I scan where the energies blocks are. What the tones do is it goes on the right side of the brain. If people could get more on the right side, dancing, drawing, moving, because people get to left side of the brain, which is fear and depression. And so we get in that neurological loop. So if we get in that stillness of our energy, like 10 minutes, like a lot of times I reboot my energy before I come on, or I do healings or after healings. And I allow that energy to just, reconnect. So as long as we own and release and get whatever our energies are.
Sorry about that. That is so weird.
It's funny because one of my clients refriended me on LinkedIn, and he's a professional computer technologist, and he has been for years. So I told him I'm going on the radio show, and I haven't talked to him for 8 years. And I go, we're still having Skype problems, and we're still having Zoom problems. He's like, oh, wow. So he has known the experiences that I've had on all this. It would get shut off. There are sounds that will come out. I did a radio show with Sarah Jane in England, and that's where she told me I do sound Reiki. I said, what about the sounds coming out of the speakers? She goes, those are people's emotions. So a lot of times there's so many different levels of multi-dimensions, and each dimension is a different hertz. So it's all our frequency that basically goes on.
Well, and what I love about what you're what the heck? What I love about what you do is you bring that to the forefront for people on an educational level. We have vibrations all day long in every aspect of just being in existence. And, beyond the spiritual relationship, even science is able to back it up. And here you are, you've been doing this for many lifetimes, and you're very well aware of how many lifetimes you've been doing this. What is it that you think you are getting out of the experience?
Well, somebody explained that I was doing readings. That was a reader when I was in the Bay Area, and she said, basically, you've gone through all this, and what you're doing is you're reaching out and you're helping people to help skip a couple of lifetimes. This lifetime, I went from being abused, and my friend Richard, that is also a really good energy reader, he goes, you picked a psychotic family to be born into. So I've gone from, and I've listened to Abraham, he says we go from the spectrum of depression where we feel powerless, which is I sucked my thumb. I gave up when I was 7 because I had my father and my 2 sisters, just there was no escape. So to go from point A of depression, then you go to anger. And he says it's good to feel anger because you're starting to voice that energy to the other end of the spectrum, to bliss. And now I'm at that high energy where, like, I went through last year what everybody's going through this year. I lost my job. I lost my car. My son was supporting us. My washer and dryer didn't work, so I was living in the 20s. So I had to fight to keep myself going forward. Now with this pandemic, I'm calm. And through my guides or different lessons or different things that I had to work through. And I think everything, when we have everything stripped away, it gets us to the core of who we are. And it's like also our personality is horizontal and our authentic self is vertical. And so a lot of times we're in conflict with what we have to appear to people. Like, you know, my teeth have chipped out and I was going in conflict and I'm like, this is normal. It's like, it's fine. I'm not going to present myself in a certain way and allow people to either accept me for who I am, to accept themselves for who they are. So you don't have, what?
Sorry. I sound like
What were you saying? What did you say, Rusty?
I said, what is fascinating about this time period is the fact that we are so accustomed with busying ourselves, silencing our inner journey, and putting masks on, where when we look at somebody else that's different than the mask that we want them to wear, we turn out to be very judgmental. And I think that's right now during the pandemic, I think people are starting to reprioritize their lives and who they are as individuals and becoming more authentic in that place.
Right, that's getting to the core of that stillness. And what I tell people, because I had a good friend and she's in my book, and you know, she went on because I was doing my authentic self with Mari, and she goes, well, you should get your teeth fixed. And I had to like pretty much shut her off because I'm like, I got angry as to, and I didn't like that feeling. And she's like, I don't, and they always pretend that they don't know why they're mad at you. I don't know why you're mad. And I said, I'm at a point right now where I'm going forward. I need to keep my peace. So if it keeps my peace, then I need to leave you out of it. And another thing that I tell people, because I love teaching people to take back their power. And in my mind, you know, I go, that's your reality. You can't force somebody because of their cognitive distances will start fighting back. So I usually just step back because once, and I could feel your body zinging with that one, like it's resonating.
Yes.
And yes. It's nothing to do with, you know, it's like, I can't do anything to get you to change. I gave you my boundaries. If you're not going to respect my boundaries, then I'm stepping back. I don't know care how much I love you, but you know, it is what it is. And that's where people get caught up with everybody else's energies. They get tired. There's vampires, all the other stuff that is going on. And one of the things that I learned through Abraham is we were brought up with other people's belief systems. Our parents, my father told me I was stupid. I don't think. My sisters need to be center of attention. So I had to clear out, I had to summon up all those and just accept and release them, and that gets us more aligned, and it's on levels we're not even aware of.
I think it's hard to listen to my voice like that. I think for a lot of people, it's hard to look at what the wounds are and
right.
And really sew them up. I mean, you have to be very intimate with that part of your life so that it heals. And for some of us, we've had so much trauma, we have a lot of healing to do, and it doesn't
Right.
happen overnight.
And it does, and it's hard to be objective within yourself. When I do my tones, what the tones do, it hits the right side of the brain to the serotonin, but it also goes by lineage, by vibration, not by lineage. So I will pick up a past life. That's something that correlates with what's going on. When we're in conflict, a lot of times it's our inner child or our past lives are in conflict with parts of ourselves. And so we get to that peace system where when we react to something, that's from our past. So when we react to something, we have to see what's triggering it and release it and allow it and move on. When we respond to something, it's like, okay, you have no more power over me. You know, we'll go on to the next thing. And so if people know these different things, and this is what my book is about, my journey, my sessions with my therapy, all these things to get myself whole. And a lot of times when we're in that low frequency carbon energy, fear separates. So I will see a part of ourselves that's like a little bit separate from it, and I integrate those parts to get ourselves back to being complete.
Fear is the largest separator from healing, I think. I think it's easier to stay in your fear place thinking than it is to say, okay, I'm not afraid anymore, I'm going to be strong. We don't really get fed the information that we're stronger than we think.
Right. And that's why, like, a lot of times I've worked on people and they get to a certain point where I call them the flip switchers. They get to a certain point and it's unfamiliar. They don't want to own it or whatever it is that's going on. And then they're like, oh, you have the problem. You're this and you're that. They don't, everybody has their level. There's a few people that I'm still working with that are good friends. And a lot of my clients that are now friends are psychologists, therapists, and like I work on them or I'm healing them, because what I do is I bring up the energy and I pull out. I will see, feel, and hear, and I will also, with the energy, with the tones, whatever is supposed to happen, it'll be like mental, physical, emotional, and energy, or it'll be air, earth, wind, and fire. That I will see earthquakes, and that's a physical. I will see air, like tornadoes. I will see water, the emotional, and eventually the Kundalini fire energy. And our emotional energy is 3 inches from our physical body, and our mental is from about 5 inches. And so our aura can go from 8 feet up to 50 feet, depending on how much we clear or how much, and I remember the word now, photons, which is like 8 to 20 per, I forgot, millisecond, whatever it is going on, where that's the light in our body. And as we allow more energy of the crystalline energy, I clear out the carbon energy, and that's where we get more light codes and our body becomes more alive. Like when I did more work on you yesterday, you had more light coming in your eyes. As John said, I zapped you.
You did zap me. What's interesting is that I'm very fortunate enough to have many practitioners that do very various things for their practice, and I've not had a human outside of Joseph, who's a didgeridoo artist, ever do tonality with me through voice, which I thought was really quite fascinating. And I'm still really stuck on the precision because my back was in so much pain. You have no idea. Plus I was drained after doing 6 interviews, and you pegged it exactly, pinpointed exactly where it was. And that was the first time we've ever had a conversation. So there's your testimony. Yeah. It works.
Right. And when I talked to Elohim, because like I said, it was a year and a half, and they're the messengers, or people call, I have a plethora of masters that come in through me that are like high entities, if you want to call them, ETs, energies, guides, masters. They come in with like 1,000 volts, as you know, and break up the lower density energy that's going on. And so I learned a lot with Elohim, and I said, what does my voice do? Or the tones do? Because when Amy first started this, we weren't expecting, we were just gonna I talked to Rustie about this. I have it really relaxed. Like we sit there, we have some wine, we laugh, we joke, like two friends that are getting together. And I think that's why I have friends that are psychologists, therapists. They don't want the, prestigious type of stuff going on. And they came through and they said, we like what you do. And then another time when I was talking to them, they were saying, well, we test people, and if you pass the test, we do the energy. I'm not sure if I remember that or not. But I learned so much as far as tones and healing. And I asked them one time, and this was 7 years ago, I said, can anybody do what I do? They said a handful. I said, does anybody do what I do? They said no. And tones have been around for thousands of years. Temples all around the world were set up for tones. There's one in India where there's stones that are set up for, because I love watching Ancient Aliens, different stones set up for different instruments. You go down into 110 hertzes. Once you hit the 110 hertzes, either guides contact you or you float out of your body. Once you go to sleep for 15 minutes, you're out somewhere. And so I have been working with them for years, and this is my mission. I was doing mentally challenged people a few months ago, and one was abusive, but he wasn't abusive toward me. And I quit, and I was going to go look for another job because, I'm back on survival. This is right before the pandemic. And my friend Richard says, you're not supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be healing people. this is your mission. And so, thank God for John, thank God for connecting with him, because I'm connected with all these people like you, and Mari, and Melissa, that have done the other radio shows, where we're all connecting, and I'm trying to get a collective. The more we get that white energy collective, then the more powerful we are.
I think that interesting to go through a journey. I myself have been going through quite a journey, but every time I try to do something that's out of my spiritual scape, outside of the realm that I'm supposed to be working in, for some reason, it dissolves. Like, it's almost like the universe just says, nope, sorry, smack, that's not gonna happen.
That's just and that's what my book has to do with. When I was 21, my mom wanted me to join the Army because I wasn't working. I was just starting to dabble in tarot. I was just starting to dabble in all this other stuff. And I did au pair work where, I thought it was like one child in Marin, and then I got hired for a family of 4, and they were all metaphysical, and that's what started my journey. So every time, that's why I just kind of, if you stay in your stillness, a lot of times they'll work on you when you're taking a bath, because that's when you're most relaxed. So the more you're quiet within yourself, then the more you could feel, hear, or see. Because some people may be clairvoyant, some people may be clairaudient. And it's okay if you're not. I'm just all 3. So, you just got to accept about feeling, hearing, seeing, whatever your avenue is, and just go with that. I've been doing automatic writings. I've been doing automatic drawings. It's just all aspects. I've been a shaman other lifetimes. So another time I was working with somebody that I did another radio show with, and he was channeling Archangel Michael. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Because Suzanne did a drawing of me as Bathsheba. And they said, you're to bring in the gold. I thought they meant gold coins. And it's like, no, gold energy. He says, you're taking a rest right now. So I think right now, this is the time for the gold. This is that golden age of Aquarius. And the more people we connect that it's okay, then the more they accept, then the more we can work together as, as one.
I want to know.
Okay.
That demon voice is just freaking me out.
What demon voice?
What we hear in the audio coming back sounds like it's just weird. What do you want to demonstrate what you do? You're more than welcome to before we wrap up. Okay.
Right. And and that's why I brought out this crystal. And then Rustie didn't see this one. I pulled that one out.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to put them together. I've got my candle so people could watch the energy of the candle, because they actually do have the direction the candles are. This isn't going to be me because I can feel them coming in. The demon voices, a lot of times we'll hear like sounds, energies. The frequency is so high, a lot of times they come through it, So it's not demon, it's probably higher energies that are coming through. Because other than that, it wouldn't happen. And if I do the frequency, that demon energy will not be able to handle. Because I've depossessed people and houses and decorded and raised the frequency of that too. All right. Oh, we got Mother Mary again. Okay. You want to do it 3 times. So if people want to listen to my tones, they're on my YouTube under Marci Kosich. And my book is on my author's page under Marci Kosich if you want to buy the books. There are some tones on there. And my tones, people are using them to relax, fall asleep, because it hits the serotonin part of the brain. And that's where people start relaxing. Try to do as much right side of the brain thing. Get out of the left side. All right. Okay, we're going to have Buddha. I guess they're all coming in today. I have different guys that come in, but this one is for the lower side, which is that beta energy. Whoa! I guess that was to release something. Sometimes I do that.
You know, it reminds me of the Mongolians and
Right.
some of the old ancestry throat singing.
Yeah, Richard said that when I do my tones, they are going back to pre-Aztec. I did, there's Awakening and Healing Sundays that I've done with Susan Sandwick, and she copped an attitude. But we did it for 3 months, and you can listen to those. She's on iPod. But Howie, I can't forget his last name. Because I want to say Odell, I know it's not that one. But anyway, he has the Riff Network, and he came on. He was the director of the radio show, and he did the Siberian chants with me one time, which is really neat, you know. So the ones that are spiritual, like you and Howie, you know, Howie was saying the EPTs were going crazy. This is all in my book because I wanted to give my radio experiences on it. So yeah, people are feeling it. And as this goes on more and more, the sounds through the radio, that's healing the earth. Because it's just the vibrations. I've done them on the river, I'm near Lake Tahoe, you know, things like that.
Well, I have to say, I'm hopeful that this is recording because on my end, it's just being very strange, which you're not surprised about.
No, I'm not. I had it one time where I had thoughts. I did my radio show on Blog Talk, and I thought it was like 30 minutes, and it went to like 30 seconds, and my friends were telling me. So if it's meant to be, it'll be. And I asked Elohim, I said, well, what did you do to my radio show? And they said, oh, you have free will? I said, no, I don't. What did you do? And they said, oh, well, this person's not supposed to hear it. So I have experienced so many powerful things. My car teleporting, somebody was cloaked, sounds on it. And but the message is Mother Mary came through and Buddha. So I'm sure this is supposed to come through to help people, or something would have happened. Well, and I see them smiling. So.
I'm happy. I hope that this records. If it doesn't, we'll try again. And I'm grateful for you and all your work. And what is your adventure now? What are you going to do next?
Well, like I said, I'm trying to work with John. John's working hard as a PR, and we're going to try to get group Skypes together to get my private sessions, like Zooms, like I worked on Arena. And we're going to do like a testing of it and then see if people are going to want private sessions. But we're going to experiment. So, you know, as people are home and they want to be calmer, so it might be a good time right now that people get into that Zen energy instead of that frustration, because people get caught up in that neurological loop, and we need to get those neurological loops out so that, you know, our body is Zen and meditates. You know, the tones have been around for thousands and thousands of years before this whole pharmacy thing happened in 36. So I guess it's just bringing up those aspects of myself of who and what I am and what I was. And there's channel drawings in my book. And so it's just very much guided, like meeting you.
And it's a blessing, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, and I hope we keep in contact, Rustie. I love your energy. Well, you know where to find me. You're on my Facebook. People want to Facebook me, that's fine. They want to LinkedIn me, that's fine. You know, if you want to contact me, it's, you know, marcikosich2@gmail.com, or contact Rustie, or Rustie will contact John. We're all connected.
We are all connected, and it's beautiful, but I want people to go out and buy your book. So give us the website one more time.
Well, you can look at, you know, like the author's page. I think that was called on Amazon under Marci Kosich, or you could just look at the books. And so I've got my own page on there. My book is just now published, which is perfect time for right now. And, you know, it is a journey, and this is what I'm supposed to do. And I tell John, and I tell you, because I was texting with John earlier, we have to work twice as hard. There's been so many charlatans and psychics that have screwed people over. And so a lot of times people are like weary of it. And it's sad, you know. My friends are all good psychics. I have some in the book and how you can contact them, because I only keep my circle close. I don't deal with drama. I don't deal with negativity. And, you know, just keeping that real, because the more we have those negative people around us, the more they weigh us down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I don't fight with people. I just step back, because you'll get into that cognitive distant part of the brain, and it's just not worth it.
Well, Marci, I want to say thank you. Bless you. Keep up the good work. And I have to roll to the next adventure in my world. But
I know you do. Bye, Rustie.
Bye, honey. See you soon. You're
okay.
Living and Thriving with Rustie. Hopefully this is recording, because that was a great session with Marci.
We can always do another one.
Perfect. Kosich. And
Bye.
you can't see me, but know that I think that you're beautiful, that I love you. Be kind to yourself, be gentle to yourself, and go and do something good.
Invest in yourself.
Exactly. Take care.
You're worth it. Bye.
Bye.